What's up guys, my name's Tom, welcome back to another video, and today we're here for the third episode of my F1 2021 career mode. If you guys haven't watched the previous episode, the Spanish Grand Prix, I'll highly recommend to go check it out. A race full of emotions, and make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really motivates me to make more, because I'm going to be posting a lot of career mode videos. But today we're going to focus in one of the jewels of the calendar, Monaco Grand Prix. We'll see what we can do at the streets of the Principality, and we have already one aero upgrade ready for this weekend, which is going to really come in handy. And we're going to buy another one for the durability department, because the thing that I want to focus as well is the durability, because sooner rather than later we're going to take some green penalties. Because look at our control electronics, we only did 2 races and it's already in 42%, almost half of the way. It's going to be really hard to manage the components. Of course, they're going to have some great penalties, and unfortunately one of the other upgrades I really wanted was for the rear wing has failed. In a track like Monaco, are you serious? Anyway, we're going to buy that one, and for sure that is going to be ready for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but that is a little bit of a shame, you know. And to make things a bit less worse, we can say, we have an engine upgrade ready, which is a little bit, not really important for a track like Monaco, where straight line speed doesn't mean that much. But here we are on the garage, and you're already seeing the weather forecast. We're going to have rain for qualifying and the race. Heavy rain. Are you serious? In a track like Monaco, in my debut in this game at Monaco, with a Haas. Hopefully we're not going to crash. It's going to be a tough weekend for us. Raining qualifying in the race. I don't know if it's going to get dry over the course of these sessions. I don't know. But yeah, things are not going to be really easy for us. And we're not going to have that much rain on practice, so we can't practice that much in these conditions. But performance chat, we pulled away a little bit of Williams, and things are really close between McLaren, Ferrari and Aston Martin, with McLaren now taking the lead of this trio. But here we are on the first practice session. It's going to get dry, however I want to get out already in the beginning of the session to get a bit of track knowledge how it is to go on the intermediates. And basically what we can do about it, find the limits, as now we lose the back end through the low Zeppen, and we spun out in the slowest corner of the calendar because I was trying to drift my way into the corner and try to be a rally driver, but then I forgot that I was in the Formula 1 car, and that is a bit embarrassing to see, to say the least. And now we need to get out of here, which is going to be really hard because this is a little bit tight. Thankfully no one is out of the track, so the television is all focused on us in this. Come on, Tom. Do the 3-point turn, more than the 3-point turn. Come on, a little bit more. I think this is enough. Okay, maybe you need to reverse a little bit. Come on, just a little bit more. I think now you're home safe. Ah, yes, there you have it. Woo! Finally, we are out of the track. Oh boy, I think that is my most embarrassing moment in my entire F1 career. Anyway, we're going to focus. Things are not going to get really easy. Now we're on dry conditions. Hopefully it's going to get a bit dry during the race to be a little bit more comfortable, but definitely that mistake, which definitely is not going to give me a lot of confidence once we get into these tricky conditions. We are doing our things in practice. In dry conditions, our pace actually is pretty decent. In dry conditions, as we skip to the end of the session, and we were 11th fastest, that's because we did the qualifying sim program. Unfortunately, it's not going to be dry conditions into the qualifying session. But anyway, practice session was pretty positive. We got a lot of resource points, which you love to see it. But now it's time for the moment that you all been waiting for. Hopefully, I'm not going to embarrass myself in this qualifying session. I don't want to make mistakes. I think this is my objective. I want to beat my teammate, but first of all, I don't want to make mistakes into the low Zeppen. Hopefully, it's going to be a positive session for us. Hopefully, the rain can be on our side. It's going to be raining for the entire session, as you're going to hear from Jeff.
Heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now, at least a 20-minute window of heavy rain. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
So to make things even better, it seems that the inters are equal with wets. I decided to go with inters to see what happened, and actually I'm pretty comfortable, and it seems that everyone is exiting with the intermediates as we go 7th fastest. And now we find ourselves in P14 already. Alonso down in P16, so definitely he's in the danger zone. And so it seems that he's being a little bit of a lottery right now, which makes sense because we are at Monaco casinos, as we tap a little bit the wall into the swimming pool chicane, as now we go through Raskas. Oh, that is really close to hit the wall. We're still gaining time because the track is getting better and better, but it's going to rain anyway. So there's no way that we're going to see the dry tires as we go through the start finish straight across the line, and that is going to be P13. P13. Believe it or not, I'm not comfortable at all at this moment in these conditions. I'm feeling, you know, the car's so loose, almost, you know, getting out of control. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not confident. I'm not, you know, pushing the maximum of the car, and we're still in P13, which is kind of crazy to see as we go through Rasgas once again. This is going to be a final lap in Q1 as we gain buckets of time through Rasgas. Through the last corner we go, and this is going to be improvement. I can see, yes, by less than a tenth of a second, but at the moment it's looking really good for us to get into Q2 in very weird conditions, not feeling comfortable with the car, intermediate conditions, which is kind of equal to wets, who knows, and we're racing in one of the hardest tracks on the calendar, so I don't know how I'm pulling this pace. The difficulty is still in 102, I can assure you that. But anyway, you're going to join me for the rest of this lap and see if we can get into Q2. That is going to be an absolute achievement. As we go through Mirabeau, we're losing a bit of time because I lost the back end before the corner. As now we go through the low zap and make sure to go a little bit slow, not too slow. Make sure to not spin the car, most importantly. But it seems that we have a bit of pressure because I think we have an Alpine behind us, so we're kind of running these guys' laps as we are 2/10 of a second up. So they're, you know, in our dirty air, which might stop them to improve their time. As now we go into the Novel chicane, very tidy indeed. Corner cutting can be a little bit debatable there. And actually we lost time anyway. Now we're going through the back, very understeery in these conditions. Checker flag is out. We are down already into P16. The Alpines are not looking pretty good in P17 and P18 as we are 6 tenths up as we go into the swimming pool chicane. Giovinazzi 15 fastest as now we go 18 fastest at the moment, but where this is going to put us through the final corner, 7 tenths of improvement. This surely can put us into Q2 across the line. And now we don't know where we're going to be. Here are the results, and there you have it. We are through. We are in P14 at the end of the session. For the first time, we are into the second phase of qualifying. That is so good for us. And like I said, I don't know why I'm pulling these results because the pace for me has been absolutely nowhere. I mean, one of the slowest car on the grid with the worst chassis. I'm at Monaco in rainy conditions and I'm not feeling comfortable at all with the car. But anyway, we're going to do just one lap in Q2 because there's no way that we're going to get into the top 10 shootout. Let's be realistic. But we'll see what we can do. I did a bunker lap. This is the same set that we did the best lap in Q1 because I don't want to waste the intermediate sets because that is the tire that we're going to use most likely for the race. We need to think on that because during the weekend we only have 4 sets of intermediates available to us, so we need to be rational when it comes to using these you know, intermediate and wet tire sets. As now we go through the low zap and we're gaining a bit of time as Alonso go faster, so definitely the track is improving. Make that Leclerc goes fastest. So this can look really good for us. We're not going to be the last one crossing the line as now Lando Norris goes fastest. So this is the first of fastest laps at the moment. And we'll see maybe if we can get better than P15. That will be really good. As now we go into the Novel chicane. Valtteri Bottas at the moment, you can see, finds himself in P12. Max Verstappen is in the danger zone as well. So these guys really need to put a good lap in if they want to get into the top 10 shootout. We have some last minute drama at the end of Q2 at the Monaco Grand Prix. Here we go through the swimming pool chicane, gaining 7 tenths of a second, which is not a surprise because our lap was pretty awful. Hamilton is in P11. You can see this is absolutely unbelievable. 2 Mercedes and Verstappen, the main challengers for the title, at the moment find themselves out of qualifying. We'll see if they are going to pull through and get into the top 10 shootout for us. We'll see where this is going to put us. 7 sets of improvement. We are out. Hamilton and Bottas and Verstappen are out of qualifying. Absolute scenes. These guys are not going to do the top 10 shootout. Lando Norris goes fastest. Definitely is an absolute lottery in this qualifying session. And for us, there you have it. P15, 6 tenths away from the guy ahead of us, Esteban Ocon. And let's be honest, what I did was a terrific job for a car that I had, and I can assure you that I was struggling. I didn't feel any confidence with the car, so getting P15, getting into Q2 for the first time, definitely is an absolute win. You never know what can happen in a race. Generally there is at least one safety car at Monaco, and it's going to be a rainy Monaco Grand Prix to make things even more exciting. So I'm super looking forward to see what we can do. Points can be an option, but it's going to be really hard. We're going to need some luck. So without further ado, let's go to the casino. Let's see if we can win the lottery. It's time for the Monaco Grand Prix.
Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. We already see the lowest average speeds of the season here at the Circuit de Monaco, and they'll be even lower in the difficult conditions today. 19 corners make up this famous 2-mile track, and with the rain, it'll be even harder than usual to get that critical heat into the tyres. Don't be surprised if we see a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Ricciardo, Lando Norris, and Vettel, Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, and Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Ocon, Thomas, Mick Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen, and George Russell, Giovinazzi, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
And here we are after super positive qualifying. I can't believe that we're starting in P15, and I can't believe, I don't know how this pace came from, but let's see if we can carry into the race and see if we can get a good result. Strategy wise, it seems that it's going to be a one stop, and it seems that the rain is not going to stop, so we're going to be in the entire race using the intermediate tires, which is not a thing that I really want. But Sergio Perez starting in P1, and look at both Mercedes and Verstappen outside of the top 10, absolute scenes. They're going to find a hard time to move up some positions during this race because it's Monaco, plus it's raining. 5 red lights, 39 laps in the streets of the Principality, lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. Great start, getting a bit alongside Esteban Ocon as we go into Sandoval. Let's try to not be heroic. We are heroic enough to go on the inside of the Alpine. Who's going to have the better traction? It seems it is Ocon, and we're down into P15 as we stop a little bit into his rear tire, but thankfully we don't have any front wing damage. We receive a warning from FIA for that collision as we have some side-by-side action between our teammate and I think it is the Williams of George Russell. Down inside we go off Esteban Ocon. It's not the first time that we go side-by-side in this season. Remember that we did in the season opener at Bahrain, and then we made the move, and I was trying to maybe take a cheeky look on the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, but we don't have enough legs to do that. But we already overtook an Alpine, so I can consider that a win. But to be honest, I don't know for how much time I'm going to keep Ocon behind, because let's be honest, the car is heavy and I'm not at the moment very comfortable in these conditions. Not a very good run through the tunnel. Ocon is very close and he might try to dive bomb us into the Nerval chicane. Doesn't have enough legs for that. It's still lap 1. We cut a little bit of chicane actually, so yeah, maybe I should give the place back to Ocon. I don't know. We're going to move on. We're going through the back for the first time. Oh, this is really painful with a heavy car in these conditions. It's a complete different story of what was in qualifying, but we'll see if we can save these tires pretty nicely, because this is a wet race. We don't have to stop, so we can be heroic, you know, and not do a single stop in this race, and we can get a lot of track position, which is a very important thing in a track like Monaco. But you can see in the lead is Charles Leclerc leading his own Grand Prix, followed by Sergio Perez and then Carlos Sainz completing the podium. So Leclerc gained the position on Sergio Perez. In a moment we're going to see how he did that, but this is a golden opportunity for Ferrari because they've been struggling in these first 2 races of the season. Then you have the 2 McLaren, Sebastian Vettel once again looking pretty good in that Aston Martin, Gasly, Lance Stroll, Tsunoda, and then you have Fernando Alonso closing down the top 10, and then behind him we have the two Mercedes and Max Verstappen. However, it's not going to be a simple task to overtake that Alpine, because like I was saying, Monaco is so hard to overtake. It's even harder when you have these conditions. But we're watching the onboard of Charles Leclerc. This is the start of the race, and we'll see how he got the lead of the Grand Prix. So it was a 10-1, great start from the Ferrari, and Perez doesn't have any answer to defend by going by taking the inside line. And yeah, there you have it. Leclerc can win for the first time in my, F1 career fantasy world, we can say like that. His first Monaco Grand Prix, absolute scene. It's not going to be an easy task at all, but I don't see how Perez is going to overtake. I don't see how anyone is going to overtake someone. Because at the moment, let's talk first about me, we are in no man's land as Leclerc is storming away from Sergio Perez on lap 7. Look at the distance that he already has. This is absolutely unbelievable. It seems that Ferrari really likes Monaco, because, Ferrari is capitalizing from, by the fact that the Mercedes and Verstappen are down the order, but he's pulling away massively from a Red Bull. That is impressive to see, and this guy should be fuming at the moment because Alonso should be the widest car on the grid, the widest Alpine in the world, like it was in the real-life Hungarian Grand Prix. Because these guys don't seem to find a way to overtake Alonso because, like I said, this is Monaco, and it's actually quite unbelievable to see, this in my career mode series. But for us, it's being a very quiet race. I'm managing to keep Ocon behind, and I'm starting to drop a lot to Valtteri Bottas. So at the moment, I don't know what I can do, and the only thing that I'm expecting at the moment is probably a safety car in order to rejoin once again in the field. I'm trying to conserve these tires as much as I can, because I can see a chance that we can, not stop during this race and, get a chance to score points. However, there is already a big gap to Valtteri Bottas, 8 seconds off the road, so things are not looking good for us. My chances to get a no-stop race are starting to fade away because they might get pretty close to pit window. You can see on lap 16, skipping all the way to lap 16, they're already 16 seconds off the road. They're already crossing the line and going into Saint-Devote. And so things are not looking good for us.
Okay,
We're kind of pulling away from Mick Schumacher, but Ocon is looking pretty close. So what I decided to do, I'm going to pit a few laps earlier and see, if I can get another cut, see if I can do something, because we don't have nothing to lose. And it's been quite a boring race, I'm not gonna lie. But unfortunately, you can see that we're pulling into the pits, and it seems that my team is changing the front wing. Jeff didn't tell me anything on the MFD, and there was no signs of front wing damage. And now it seems that I can't see a way to get away from this pit box, and we have a 9-second pit stop. This is turning to an absolute nightmare. Are you joking? We were running decently in P15, but by the looks of it, for now, we might find ourselves in last place of this race. This is turning into an absolute nightmare. I don't know why my team decided to change the front wing, because the car was feeling absolutely fine, I can tell you that. We were dropping to the Mercedes car, but that was completely normal. Sergio Perez! Sergio Perez is out of the race! A big retirement in this Monaco Grand Prix, another big retirement in this career mode series. On the first race was Hamilton leading the race, on the second one was Bottas leading the race as well. This time is Sergio Perez running in second place, the only hope for Red Bull in this Monaco Grand Prix, in second place, scoring 18 impressions points, which would be crucial to catch Mercedes in the constructors standings. I mean, pulling away because they were already in the lead after the Spanish Grand Prix. Red Bull's chances to pull away from Mercedes in this race are absolutely gone because Perez is out. It's a Ferrari 1-2 at the Monaco Grand Prix, followed by Daniel Ricciardo and then Lando Norris and Vettel closing down the top 5. This is absolutely scenes, and Charles Leclerc 9 seconds of lead. That is some storming pace from the Monegasque in his home Grand Prix. Is going to be most likely redemption day for Charles Leclerc as Ricciardo is pulling into the pit. So it seems that for the entire race, for the rest of this race, everyone will run the intermediate tires. We're not going to see the dry tires, it seems, and there is Leclerc exiting the pit just behind Lance Stroll, and Sainz and Norris decided to stay out, but I think that is not going to stop Leclerc from, winning this race, because he has such a large gap. And now we're overtaking Antonio Giovinazzi. We're just ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Go a little bit deep into turn 1. Thankfully we didn't hit the wall, a little bit of a back-end loss, but you can see that Giovinazzi was running last in this Grand Prix, and now he's smelling our gearbox. So definitely we're going to be behind Mick Schumacher. Oh, that is absolutely gutting. We were doing so good in this Monaco Grand Prix, considering that the car that we have, this is Fernando Alonso. Mercedes pitted some laps early, and there he is. One of the Mercedes is Lewis Hamilton. Finally gets released from Fernando Alonso, and I think he overtook Lance Stroll as well. Yes, he did. So Mercedes did really well to stop a few laps early, because finally they are a few positions up the road, and for sure they should be on the points. However, Max Verstappen is still behind Fernando Alonso. This is not really good, and if he could find himself for the rest of this race behind the Alpine, we'll see. It's not going to be an easy task to overtake Fernando Alonso in a track like Monaco. As we come back to our POV at the end of lap 21, and we're going to overtake Nico Latifi only just. They have it, overtaking the Williams side by side into the first corner, maybe. Yes, we are just ahead of Nico Latifi, so effectively, legitimately, we find ourselves in P17 of this race. It's absolutely gutting, depressing to see. It's been a terrible race. Vettel is out of the race, and not the big retirement. Vettel was on the top 5. Oh, that is so unfortunate, and he's going to pull to the side of the track at a nervous chicane. His Monaco Grand Prix coming to an end. So unfortunate for Vettel, doing a terrific race in that Aston Martin. That is so unfortunate to see, and you're going to see that we're going to overtake Vettel in this lap 24. But now here's the thing, I'm thinking in retiring, and we're going to do that because, let's be honest, we are outside of the points, P16. It's been a terrible race. I don't see any way that we're going to gain these positions, even with a safety car, because there's no way that we're going to move positions in a track like Monaco, and we are on the Haas in wet conditions, and we need to think about the components of the car. We need to save some components, and I think it's a very mature decision, I consider, to retire from this Monaco Grand Prix. Because there's no point that we're going to do nothing in this race, and I am starting to lose a lot of time to Kimi Räikkönen. So we're going to pull into the pits, and unfortunately this is going to be our first DNF in the career mode. It's been a terrible Monaco Grand Prix after a great qualifying, but we gotta think in the car components and think that are better opportunities where we can have a better power unity. So unfortunately it's the end of our Monaco Grand Prix, unfortunately.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
And there you have it. It's redemption day for Charles Leclerc and Ferrari, that they get their first win since the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix with Sebastian Vettel. You love to see it. A Ferrari 1-2, Hamilton closing down the top 10, so he did an absolute storm of a drive in his second stint. Confirmation results, Lando Norris in P4, and Valtteri Bottas managed to get some position as well. And then Max Verstappen got P7. Alonso dropped off the points. What happened to this man? He was doing a brilliant race, and Mick Schumacher in P13, absolutely banger of a race, and there you have it. We were the last DNF of this Grand Prix, and this is a race that I really want to forget. I really want to focus in the next race, which is going to be Baku, which provides crazy races, and we can get there a positive result. Let's take a look at the driver standings. It's Lewis Hamilton taking the lead, 3 points ahead of Max Verstappen. Lando Norris in P3, absolute scenes. The British doing a fantastic job in that McLaren. Sergio Perez dropped from P2 to P6 after that catastrophic DNF. But for us, Kimi Räikkönen is the best guy that is yet to score points, followed by Mick Schumacher, myself, because these two guys have better results than myself. In the constructor standings, it's Mercedes leading away for the first time, 9 points ahead of Red Bull. Ferrari shooting up in the standings in P4. They were in P7 and now they are in 4th place after that fantastic 1-2, and then Haas still in P9. But guys, that has been the 3rd episode of my F1 2021 career mode with Haas. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really motivates me to make more, and make sure to share it as well. A lot of career mode videos are coming to the channel. I can't wait for the next race at the streets of Baku. Hopefully we can be very happy there. Hopefully it can be the complete opposite that we had today in the streets of the Principality. But I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, take care.